it's Ken Folan, the voice of Windham. No kidding, I'm back again for yet another week of Windham Weekly to give you some information and good news about what's going on in Windham and who's who in Windham. Because if they're on this show...
I can always hear the cheering out there, Ken, when you're not your back.
Please. If you,
it's a minor roar.
My whole intro, you just screwed up, Doyle. Please, when I point to you, speak.
It's so easy to do that.
He's like a child. Be seen and not heard.
Yeah.
So...
once again, the train goes off the track.
Oh, here we go. I can't deal with this today, folks. 456-1400. And my co-host, you already heard his mumbles. Mark Mumbles Doyle.
No, I'm the heart of Willamette of Windham.
Yeah, it's the heart that needs to be that. Where's that machine that they pump on you to get your heart going again, Doyle? Defibrillator. Right. There you go. That's a big word for a little guy.
Don't help him with his words.
Anyway, we have a wonderful guest. We're going to delve. Yeah, we're going to delve into what has happened this summer for the activities for the kids in Windham and what's planned for the fall. That's the big thing. I might nail her on some other questions, but I'm going to be nice. We're talking, of course, about our Windham Recreation Director on the #1 rated show on WILI 1400. Again, 456-1400. We're talking about Deb Fiske. Welcome.
Hey, hello. Thank you for having me.
Well, that's why I invited you, because I knew you'd be an exciting guest for us.
I appreciate that.
yeah. Don't be too excited like he is. Let's liven things up, Deb.
All righty.
So remember her background, because she's going to probably want to take another picture with me. You know, she was a UConn basketball star.
Way back when.
Class of what?
Oh, goodness. You're really going to bring out the year?
Yeah, what year was it?
Graduated 92.
92. Wow. And ladies and gentlemen, she wouldn't be the rec director had I been her coach, mentor, and her attorney, and we would have had NIL back then. You would have been sitting pretty.
Heck, come on now. Where were you back then?
You would have been the Jen Rosati or the, Tarasi and the rest of the crew over there who all worked under me, doing the right thing and signing the right contracts. So that's what I do for people. I'm a helper. A pusher and a doer. Unlike Doyle, who's a sitter.
Unbelievable.
And we'll leave it at that.
So I have my own entertainment going back and forth. I'm left to right, left to right, the two of them.
So, Deb, why don't you start off with the bunch of activities that you had this summer that for the kids and for the adults?
Yeah.
Talk about the rec center a little bit.
Well, one of the things that's been a lot of fun, we knew that we have tried this year, was a summer concert series. So we were very fortunate. I was able to work with the Northeastern Chamber of Commerce with Nancy Perry to be able to get the Peugeot Trust to be able to give money to, I said grant money in the sense to get community vibes going. So what has been nice is we've had 2 concert series already. We had one in June and July, and then next week on the 13th, right at the Shabu stage here will be our final one in this inaugural year of trying to get that done. And it's been a lot of fun. And the weather, Mother Nature has been wonderful and terrific, so we hope she does the same thing next Wednesday. But it's been great because it truly is a family, or for any age, from the little tykes all the way up. And we have games that range, whether it's hula hoops or plucking a lucky duck and getting a lollipop for the little ones.
Well,
we have
those are the sports that Ken can star in those sports. I'm going to tell you.
Mark, at least I can get up and walk, for God's sake, please.
Well, we have some bigger ones, like the basketball hoops, the shooting, and the cornhole, and a couple, kick the target. You got to try to get the soccer ball into a certain target and everything. But a lot of things that for kids to do, that's really, the friendly, while you're enjoying the concert, the music, and maybe you bring, some beverage and picnic items with you to just have a sprawl there. You're doing that, enjoying the music, and the kids are back with the recreation area department. We're trying to, keep them entertained so they can come along, for the ride too.
So one last summer concert at Shabu for the sponsored by the rec department.
Yes.
That's on the 13th. That's wonderful.
And the Peugeot Trust.
And the Peugeot Trust is really a big, big piece
generous.
Of that. So is this Guy Lombardo, or are we going to something more contemporary?
This is the Franklin Brothers.
Oh, okay.
And
not to be confused with the Folan boys.
All right, so definitely not.
No, nobody would do that, Ken.
And music that I think is one of their style is from, we're going to say 70s, 80s, but all the way up to contemporary. They have a broad range that they'll play. So it's a little something for everybody.
That sounds interesting. You could have booked me. I would have done it gratis, for the community.
Oh, really?
Oh, you have no idea the musical ability I have. But I'm not going to, let's not dwell
Let me know.
on that.
What do you think, Mark? What do you think? Do we go that road? I'm interested. If
we'll talk offline, but let's not dwell on it now.
Talk about some empty thoughts there.
So Then let's. So you had your success. Are you done with your summer camps for the kids?
No, so
at
we're
Lauter Park?
actually finishing up week 7 now,
Mm-hmm.
and then next week will be week 8. So that'll be our last week that we've had.
And what comes after week 8, Ken?
I don't know. I lost a couple fingers in an auto accident once.
It was 7, 8, 9, something like that. I don't know that joke. But at Lauter Park, it's been fun. Again, Mother Nature for the most part good because all outside camp.
sure.
So
You had some hot weeks.
Hot, and it's amazing. With the camp counselors and Teresa, our director, has been able to you adapt and adjust because sometimes you have all the greatest plans, but when you're melting before 9 a.m., adjust those plans a little
Has
bit.
the river held out for you? We don't have a lot of bacteria problems or anything?
Amazingly, I think some of that is in the early going. Remember, we were seeming like May, early June. It was rain. We not really have anything, but it's been pretty good going. And so testing has come back, and we haven't had to. I think 1 or 2 days out of that whole summertime to actually have to do any kind of shutdown.
How many
so.
families do you think participated in this? Now, I'm
For
not
the-
going
in
to
the
kids.
camp, you mean?
Yeah, at the camps. Like the 30?
Well, so we're average 60 kids per week.
Per week.
So it's
Wow.
a 60 is our, and we have to cut off there just because of if your field trips and space and different things and not where we have it right now. But so I don't know, like families, there's some, siblings or,
Sure,
double or
sure.
triple, but for them, we're talking in that, some repeats. But I think one thing is a lot of kids, some of them sign up for weeks 1 and 2, and then the
Yeah.
next thing you know, they come back for all
Sure,
8. So
another
they have
cycle, yeah.
Yeah, they have a good time, and they say, sign me up for more.
Well, they've got to keep the kids busy. That's the biggest task, I think, of a family and the community because, the counselors are there. They're teaching them things, and they're
Right.
staying out of trouble.
I think it's the biggest thing sometimes you take for granted. Like, I think it's okay, it's the field trip to Nomads, or they went to the aquarium, 1 week. But I think summer camp and what they're doing, yes, and it's keeping them active, and, they're playing, whether it's kickball or a lot of creative different games and arts and crafts that they do. It's that following, getting the idea of you got to get in line, you have to, direction, or sometimes, you want your space and you're putting your hands
You're
on,
right.
on someone else.
When I was a little kid and I was a camper, I wanted a little tent with air conditioning in it, and I didn't mind my meals being served to me either.
Yeah, not quite there. No air conditioning at this camp. But I think that's the beauty of seeing kids grow even in that 8 weeks, understanding at first where it was pandemonium and they're kind of, the idea of, this is the schedule and this is how we go and how we respect each other, use our nice words, because sometimes in the heat of competition, it gets a little,
That's how Doyle gets.
They
He
get
gets
a
very
little-
jealous. The
So
guy.
we're-
He swears.
We're
and I'm trying to teach
we're
him.
doing it by
Respectful
age group,
member of the
or
Board of Ed.
we're not doing separate boys and girls. You're doing them. You're mixing them by age groups.
Mixing by age groups, that's
Okay.
correct. Yeah, so boys and girls, and definitely in mixed age groups. And I know Therese does a good job of a lot of planning in there too, because sometimes you find I think what she's been great about. There's a good plan in place, and then you realize early this week, these kids aren't liking that. They like item B, so we're going to
Right.
go to that on the list, and we'll come back to that. So instead of being so rigid in that, I think it's funny how. One week it was like 4 squares was the predominant thing, when their free time, when it was free choice, that's where they all want to go. And then the next week it's the older group wanted to do the
Isn't that
flag
funny?
football.
For Mark, his whole life it's been consistent. Donuts. It's consistent.
I was a star at four squares when I was a
Were
Yeah,
ya?
Four
camp
Squares of
counselor.
pizza.
I came up through the YMCA. We played a tough game of 4 squares.
Do you
We
have
actually
a-
used 5.
Yeah,
we.
Your neighborhood was bad growing up.
That I do find the beauty. You capture all these games. From way back in my day. That
There
you
you
know
go.
what, regardless of how many creative ways you change things and do it, there's certain things that are always that
that's
backbone
it, yep.
from those.
So
games.
how many rocks did we paint this year?
Oh my gosh, I do. I'm glad you asked about that because I loved rock painting. We had. This is my way as director. A lot of times you're stuck with, do it. Policy protocol or things behind the desk. So I like the idea that I try to make sure I do a couple events where I'm leading the way. So I was down at Lauter Park and we
So
did
you
have a
want to
rock
be you want to be
painting.
there with one of the little people, huh?
Sometimes
with the little
don't
people.
you always want to get
Yeah, the little
let's-
people get to use the
Oh, the
pebbles.
little people.
A little less paint.
So you were there
Well,
for
I will
rock
say
painting?
I did get covered pretty a lot in that paint, but it was
Yeah,
a lot of fun. And I have to tell you, it's been a while since I've done some rock painting. It's wonderful. We had parents doing it. We had some of the age range of the interest of it was little to your high school kids, and so It was how relaxing it was. I was expecting, to be more of a little action, but, the attention span, you say kids, they're here and gone, they got lulled into it too. And it really became some very creative.
You're very fortunate that Mark didn't enroll that week because he likes to take rocks and break windows.
I would have known. I would have known. I would have been there.
I should have had that invite because I'm telling you, there were some very creative, they're pretty amazing, So,
Well,
yes, it was a lot of fun.
Do they have numbers on them? Because Ken can do paint by numbers.
Oh,
I'm not going to let Van go.
And we only went up to 8, so you didn't have to know what came after.
Now, do you use the entire park? Do you go to the ball field that's there as well, or is it contained just near the river and the water park?
For the Louder Park Day Camp, that's pretty much, it is the whole park because they'll actually go over to where the Grow Windham section is, and actually Grow Windham will actually do a series with some of the kids and learning gardening and some certain things. And they're up at the basketball court, they go out that way. They do go over, actually don't use the skate park, but there's over there little open areas, and they'll do nature walks. Actually had Green Valley come in.
Excellent.
And I think the kids have enjoyed that because sometimes they'll bring animals, but sometimes you're on the prowl to look for the critters, and they'll do some lessons around.
So one of your staffers was, I did the Bill Sayers show on Monday, co-host with him because he needed a lift in ratings.
Oh, okay.
You see.
Gotcha.
And one of your staffers was on.
Who?
And he discussed the adult volleyball league. How did that go?
Kickball. Are you thinking kickball?
Kickball,
right?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, it has been a
still
hit.
Going?
It's still going. They have they're almost. I think it's another weekend, and then there's playoffs. So they're in the. I think 2 teams are tied. So I think they're going into.
How many teams did you sign up?
Well, it ended up being 3. We really were hoping for 6, and everybody wants to do it, but they didn't want to commit. Well, we ended up getting quite large rosters, but nobody wanted to divide off or anything. But the group, if you talk to any of the participants, they're loving it and want to say, they want to do more. So it's been a hit, and Mark, our program coordinator, he's out there. I say, we have an actual official. He's like, thank goodness, because as much as they're all having fun, it gets heated sometimes, on who was safe or if it was out or that was, a foul ball along those lines. But they're doing I say the one week it was really hot, and they're, should we play? Should we not play? It's a heat wave. We don't have to do it. And they were out there playing, and it rained on them, and they had a good time.
We were this close to having a team, but Doyle wanted to be the captain, and you know what everyone else said? We quit.
No, you gotta have some. You're gonna be the brains behind the operation, right?
He's the brains.
You got a lot of line.
And Ken was going to be the ball, but we had a whole different.
We need to see more of that participation, and from that, I heard last night, one of the players had their son play, for them, and I guess he was the star. And they're saying our goal was hopefully maybe try to get a teen kickball league because I think they would have a good time too. So we'll
that'd
see
be good for
them. Where do you play?
So,
I would more, being the athlete that I am, I'd more participate in cooler weather now.
Yeah, you're right. It's kind of, I could say
kick the snowball is what I was thinking.
Could be onto something.
Yeah,
there.
well, if you need me to lead a program or sing a song or two.
Let's be honest, Ken.
Slide into.
Ken has the underwear of an athlete, but that's about as far as he goes.
Gosh.
So, where do you play the kickball?
So we like to get it to Rec Park, but right now too much going on, so we're going to see if we can find
softball season.
Yeah, a lot of not conflicting, but everybody wants to use the field. So out there, but I think Mark's hoping if we try to find a different day too, we're trying where it fits in that scheme. So I think they just want bigger space. We were hoping to play literally at Gilson Square, but it's not. It wasn't groomed, so to speak, for recreation play, just for safety reasons.
I don't know how big the field is, but you also have that field down in Memorial Park.
They were trying that, but it actually not quite big enough.
Not quite big enough. Too many home runs. Too many home runs.
Too much over the fence. So
too much on the road too. Eventually,
right. So that we did. We tried to get that one.
No matter how we play kickball.
Well, he doesn't realize the strength of some of these competitors. But the beauty of kickball, everybody it doesn't matter what. I
was a superstar. Deb, I'm telling you, you have no idea the athleticism that I had back in the day.
All right, well, come on. Let's get out there.
I need to go and
just like riding a bike. Get back up, and you'll just
a speaker at one of your programs, and like a motivator. That's what I am. I'm a motivator.
I'm
an idea man.
Are you gonna right now? You're gonna get me pumped up, ready to go.
Let's go. Let's go.
We need to cut down on the coffee there, Ken boy.
I'm on decaf for the hot. You know that.
Some people live the dream, and you are the dream, Ken. That's all I can say.
Well, I should say tonight, right now, actually not 5 to 7 tonight. We have another pickleball tournament, and it's a pickleball rally for the Nets 2. There was one that was done earlier. They had such a blast and good times, and people are saying even just to go watch it was a lot of fun. They really enjoyed the competition.
And that's indoors at the center, right?
Right. That's inside, and that's happening this evening. That's why Mark couldn't make it because he's getting ready to.
Mark and I were thinking about doing pickleball. But
what's the
we
but?
both decided we want to wait till the Olympics takes as an official sport. Not that I'm condemning it, because it's very popular and all over the. They're taking up mall space now.
Yeah, and during practice, Ken ate the pickle, so we were.
You go to Manchester, there's pickleball places.
Ken ate the pickle during practice.
I only eat the pickles from Ryan's Deli, a whole sour. Stop.
Ryan's Deli, pretty good. Yeah.
I made my trek there Saturday. I had to.
We've got a lot of good adult programming going on as well. Because I think most people think of the rec department as for youth program, but you've developed some good adult programs here.
Right. One that is coming up that's new that we've tried. We have a men's league that always happens in March. It's more of a early spring activity. It's been successful and they're liking it, but a lot of requests been made to get the women involved. So we're going to be throwing a women's adult league, basketball league. It's going to be in the fall. So registration, I think, is just starting now. And the hope is get a couple teams and get the women involved in some of the tournament play, too. Everybody, thinks that, it's just, the men's basketball.
When are you going to start the women's basketball?
It's coming in the fall. It's going to be Wednesday nights, 5 to 9. It's going to be late September that's going to get underway. But registration is starting now. So
I think at the high school, they always have an alumni game to come in, and what an opportunity that I would maybe put a flyer or two up, because the young ladies who are still playing ball, and some of them not so young,
right, you can try.
I think that's a good resource to promote it.
That's a great idea.
I'm an idea man, Deb.
Wait, did I just give him that?
That's it. Look,
the
headphones don't fit anymore.
What was I thinking? Yeah.
No action. He just takes everybody's ideas.
Anyway,
the real question is: Are you playing, Deb? Is this a pro-am?
Sometimes thinking they say history. The further away you get from those glory days, the better you are. So I figure best to stop while I'm ahead.
You want to go with the reputation, okay?
Right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are listening to Windham Weekly. I'm your host, Ken Folan, the voice of Windham, along with my co-host, Mark. He'll bore you to death, Doyle. And our guest is Deb Fiske from the Windham Recreation. She is the Windham Recreation Department, along with her team. And please give us a call, 456-1400. Maybe your child experienced a great summer camp, or as an older adult, you played on the kickball league, or painted some rocks and threw them at Mark's house. Give us a call, 456-1400. Go ahead.
As we're talking about the women's basketball, I recall you had an older group of women that were playing there on Friday mornings. Do we still have that group?
Oh, my goodness. I'm glad you brought that up because, yes, they're still playing. And here's the news. They just played. It was a national tournament, and there was 3 age groups. They actually medaled. This was national. They were out in Iowa. And I'm thinking it was the 50 to 55, and I'm going to get this wrong, but it was a 50-55, the 60 to 65 age group, and then I think it was, I think it might have been the 80 and above age group. That's how, they go by, their decades are 5-year intervals, but we're kind of figuring out, we want to give them a shout out there because they medaled in this, it's across the nation, so it wasn't just a, New England or regional tournament, but they went out there.
And these ladies who were in that bracket were local here?
Yes, well, some of them, they might, they come from New London or from there. Some that live in the area, but it's from all over that they'll come and they use our facility. They buy a membership and they'll use their time on Friday mornings.
Friday mornings, yeah.
Come on in and play, and they are so welcoming. The beauty is we have some women that work over at the senior center, and we're talking about you've put out your flyers and just events that you have going on, so they hear about this women's basketball. Some of them never played basketball. It wasn't like they played it in high school or anything because sometimes it might, believe it or not, they're older than me, and they didn't have it in high school.
Oh no!
And so, but they came and they acquired, and they found a niche for them right there. Because there's some of these women that are pretty darn talented, and we have some that are beginners and for the first time playing at the age of 60, and it's been a nice home for everyone to get exercise. It's all not about, it is basketball competition, but then it's everything else, that camaraderie and community spirit.
Wonderful. What's some of your other programs you've got going, Deb?
Well, we're going to be having restorative yoga. So after you beat your
Doyle needs
body up
that.
playing basketball or kickball,
Or sitting in a recliner
then you're
all
going to
day.
feel, okay, what do I do for my body? So restorative yoga, and that is happening. It's going to be Thursday nights. That actually starts August 14th. And that'll be
Is that outside or inside?
indoors.
It's indoor.
Indoors, yes. So our hope is to eventually, you get a good thing. We can always do mornings, sunrise yoga, do some at the Shabu.
We're afraid it'll be a traffic violation, Ken, if we put you out there.
And you're doing downward dog?
If you do your
You should
Lululemons.
see me when I do downward cows.
Nobody wants to see you in Lululemons out there on the major parcel, Ken. I'm sorry.
Fashion statement.
There you go.
Well, maybe if they're bright pink, they might
Yes.
appreciate it.
They're out there.
And they're loving it. Okay. So that's a new program.
That is a new program, yes. So we're starting that up. Another one that's it's kind of fed off of, currently it's like a tiny champions karate that's happening. And so from that, it's been really popular. So we're going to continue that for the little tykes. But we've got to the sense of building up on self-defense and the idea it's a cane fitness and self-defense class. This is for 18 and above, and this means you can be 80, you can be 30, but it's intent of doing that. It's more of it's exercise, but it's like a self-defense course. And so the instructor, Joshua Seals, he's been awesome, and we've seen his style and how it's implementing not just it's balance, it's awareness in your community and things that besides the a reactive what you may do. So this is where we're kind of building up some of those things too that we think.
And I already owe the cane.
Yeah, so
See?
for you, this is
There you
right up
go.
your alley.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now,
I think
these
I'd like to
classes
see
that you have for adults, is these membership plus fees, or is this fees only, or?
Fees only. So there's certain of these classes I just happen to mention. That is, you don't have to be a member.
Okay.
You're going to come in and you'll be paying for whatever that the fee is for that class. But I do want to throw out there, like we have a lot of times, if you're a member, you get your membership monthly or however you want to, the duration you want to pay for
Why don't you
it.
take a minute, Deb, and explain that before you get into the. Mark's question is very good, but for a change. But what is the membership fee, and how you go about doing all of that to become a member of the rec center?
Okay, so we'll start with first. It's the idea for if you are a resident of.
We'll focus on resident when
Okay.
you. Yeah.
100% resident then is $10 a month. So that is for anybody who is
That's a
18
bargain.
and absolutely 18 and above. So you would have your own membership. Now you say, you know what? I'm a mom and I have 3 kids, and so the intent is that $10 is for you because you're 18 and above, and your kids who are under that are all under that $10 realm. So, you say, oh, there's 2 adults in that household. Well, then you each pay your $10, but your family members under there all get to use the facility. So in that there's a pool. It has a lot of, whether it's you're interested in just open swim and just want to swim for the heck of it, or you want to do some lap swims. There's different programs there. As Leandra's actually just throwing out there is log rolling that's happening on
I did that just
Saturday.
last week.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, see this, and it's amazing. It's like there's the log, and again, she helps a lot because some of the kids, then when they're trying to do it, it's a lot harder than you think it is to stay on top of that.
Now, this is in the water, right?
This is in the water.
Thank you.
So it's in the pool, yeah. So, but some of that. So if you have these membership, we do have from time to time. We'll have programs that if you have a membership, the class is free, or we do a lot of specials. If it's seasonal, a lot of times we had a Halloween pool party, and that would be free for the members, and it's a drop-in fee for non-members along there. But that was the idea of it's monthly, and if you want to come on down and there's a weight room,
You can't
open gym.
You can't beat that price. So back to Mark's question.
Yes.
So let's say cane fitness and self-defense. Is there additional fees? Because that is an outside person, I would imagine.
Right, it's an outside person. So the fee for, just saying, if you're taking the cane fitness and self-defense, that's $40 per participant. So you would be paying for that
Sure.
class. That's at 6 classes, 30-minute sessions, and to do that. So that would be a fee for that, and you'd register for that. You don't have to be a member to do that.
And when you join these leagues, there's also additional fees for that.
Those are fees, yeah. So a lot of times, the kickball league, and
But there's
we're
a fee
saying,
for every league. I mean, the
right.
women's softball.
well, you have there's
men's.
fees. So you're getting your
Uniform,
shirt,
yeah.
you're getting the official, you're having the scorekeeper, you're doing so it is about how to break even,
Right.
how to make sure that we can cover.
No,
the
we don't want to get into
expenses.
the budget.
Yeah, that's a different avenue, right
That's
there.
a different
yeah.
avenue. We're talking about fun and fitness.
Do you want to do the break now, or do you want to do it later? Okay.
And that's really what it's all about, because again, the kids are after school. There's only so many programs after school, and then the weekend comes. The level of activity, I think the opportunities for the senior citizens at the senior side of things, and mixing in with the community public rec side, I think it's huge. And I think all these additional programs, the more outside, I call them vendors, the outside vendors come in. I'm sure it's a discounted rate for them to come and have that, because they can always then say, hey, we actually do it here, and this is what you, like the karate stuff or whatever.
Right.
You know,
right. Yeah. So I
it's
think
an advertisement.
And it's been nice. This gentleman, the instructor, he's I think truly has that understanding of how to develop kids from the steps and
to get them interested in it.
Right. To kind of to do that there.
Yeah, I was a black belt. I did 4th degree.
Really?
Oh yeah, I can eat Chinese food like you've never seen.
Right. I might be able to. I'd earn a belt doing that.
Right.
Too.
And then he washed the belt. It was a whole different.
Actually, when you mentioned about the kids in after school, so there is a teen gym, and it's middle school and above, so you have to be in school. The idea is that for that is actually free. That at that it's a 2 to 4. It's after school. There's a slotted time that kids can come in and just open gym. It's not no adults in the gym or anything. This is their time. Not to be. Hey, you line up here and you go there.
You burn off some energy.
Yeah, just
burn off some
play,
energy.
have a good time, and so we get quite a good group that comes down during the school year, whether it's there, and right now during the summer it's been quite popular as well.
So how about the facility now? Everything's going good there? We had a little problem with the pool a lot, spring.
It's been, I said, whatever. Best hire was Leandra, as our aquatic supervisor, because once you get someone knowledgeable and experienced
exactly,
and finding the right chemistry of everything for the pool, it's really has been really operating. And I say our complaint sometimes, it's 83 degrees and people they want it 86, but we can't do that. We actually have to keep it at a certain temperature because that keeps everything in balance for along those lines.
I can tell you, it's a very sophisticated system because from my early days, Ken, when I actually did something. We were putting a gallon of chlorine in the water and having the sand and gravel, but the filtration system they have now is very, very complex. It's a lot of balancing, a lot of...
certainly is.
Yeah.
Well, Deb made the right choice by having someone come in who's actually an aquatics person. That's the most important. I mean, with all the athletics that I know, I was all-star, all-state hockey, football, baseball.
He reads every paper. He reads every
I couldn't
paper.
do a pool.
Right, Ken?
I managed,
No.
athletes and,
Yeah, well, you read it all in the papers, Ken. I understand.
I always say, too.
Well,
Get somebody who knows
My
knows
wife
it.
was a big-time swimmer at the high school, and she
yeah?
coached it for years.
Well, that doesn't make you a swimmer.
Because I'm telling you,
Does she want to come back? We need lifeguards. Can we sign her
she's
up? Come on
certified.
back.
She's still certified
Well,
for years.
we need some certified
Because
lifeguards. What do you think,
she's
Mark?
the maintainer of the pool at the house.
Oh.
I don't. But no, she did. She did all like the dolphin stuff and whatnot.
Yes,
Her
yeah.
mother was a coach.
Yeah.
I mean, you name it. They,
Well, as
but
I say,
it's work. I don't know anything about it.
that's knowing a swimmer, Ken. That's not being a swimmer. But speaking of swimming, what other programs are going on in the pool?
I'm glad. And now you're talking. The next thing is swim lessons.
transfer to-
It has been great to see the growth in the swim lessons program. And one thing that we just finished 6 weeks, Leandra. There's different sessions. We just had 3 sessions of it. Quite a few swimmers. And what has been interesting is in trying to find instructors. Leandra's had to adapt and adjust and find ways. So she has really implemented a system that has been really received popular and results in that parents in the pool. You always think, oh, that's the mommy and me class. Well, she's taking it to levels 1 and 2, where it's an adult, that's comfortable, with and that it's not just teaching the kid how to swim. Instead of having to sit on the wall while the other kid goes back and forth, you're doing the same thing. And she's actually teaching the parent as well. Like, hold them like this.
Hold them under the head, yes.
Get them to do this and that. And so it's been well received because the idea that you're actually seeing kids' improvement a lot quicker because it's the repetition and it's that seeing everybody else do it and connection that the parent or guardian or whoever is in there is really
using that kickboard to kick all the way across the pool and all the way back.
They're doing a lot of the floaties and working on that. So it's been good for the kids' groups lessons. She's also been individual private lessons, and so it's been a really big hit. That's one of those, it's one-on-one, or you have 2 kids that you want to have in that, and so it's getting that deliberate. And this is not just kids, it's been adults that have been taking advantage of this for whatever reasons, whether it's like a rehab thing or never really learned to swim. So it's been fun to see that that knowledge and that skill. That's a life skill to see everyone getting in the pool.
So now we're doing adult lap swims as well, or how are we?
Yes.
How often is the pool open? Is it all day?
Well, unfortunately, we wish we could have it all day, but just not really ability to cover those afternoon hours.
The toughness of finding those lifeguards.
You got it. The schedule along there. But morning hours, I've been very heavy. That is a lap swim, and we've got a big contingency that whether it's you're competitive or you're more in just I'm more of a slow swimming lap swim person. But finding enough time for everybody's been a challenge.
Yeah, Mark thinks he's going to go in a tube and go down the lazy river. We don't got time for those kind of
well,
people.
That might not be.
No.
That's not considered a lap swimmer.
No,
but
that's
he
called
could
a
then.
floater.
But he could come in during adult open swim, and then you can do all
Is that how
the
that
different
works?
things you want.
You're-
One of
you're-
the things, aquatics. There's aqua aerobics. That's been a big hit. That's been a thing.
Do you
that
really
happens.
want him to float in the pool after he eats about 6 donuts? He's like a lead sinker.
I'm telling you.
No. I think it's going to be even. He'll be more floating.
I think it's the image of Ken in a Speedo walking up and down the pool because he can't quite swim the lap, so he just walks up and down the pool. That's Speedo, Ken.
I show it all off, my friend. I show it all off.
I still
Is
have
everybody getting a vivid picture here?
I still have
This is the voice
nightmares.
of Windham. People want to know.
Not that much.
As long as you have a tan, have you been in the
listen,
sun?
not much this summer, but I normally I'm pretty bronze and buff. You know how it
we,
goes.
we know he's not Jewish. That's all we can tell you.
Jesus. Anyway, Deb, we had a guest.
Hang in there, Matt. Come on.
guest
Stay
on-
with
I
me.
was not warned I was going to have entertainment. I was
Stay
just
with me, Matt.
We had a guest on just last week from UConn, and she had to leave early to run over to the rec center. She ran the Little Chefs program.
Yes.
That was pretty neat to know that they were doing that over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
What a
And
great
that's
program.
They've been doing a great job, and I think it's been a series, and they'll have healthy, whether it's snacks or what about a little dinner thing. You probably learned
Yeah, we
about
learned
it
a
last
lot,
week.
yeah.
They've been great, and that's again our plan is again always trying to pull in whether it's community people who want to get involved, but it's not. I think recreation isn't just playing basketball or going for a swim. It is the health side of things. Whether
Poker and bingo sometimes.
it can be that, absolutely.
Oh, I'd love to call bingo one night. Oh,
we're going.
wow.
We're in the fall. We'll be looking for it. I'm going to give you a call.
Give me a call,
Give me
Deb.
a
I'm
call.
telling you, I'm
Person.
available to be an MC, motivational speaker. I could just hang out at the pool with my bronze body. And,
We'll have a lot of times. We're right there. If we're
right
gonna.
okay.
You can come. You're
Because I
invited.
put that swim in my hair, makes it blonde.
Oh,
We'll-
you do the.
Yeah.
We'll
Yes,
oil you up,
Sonny.
Ken, and get you
Sun
right
in,
out
whatever
there.
the hell it is. Orange juice or lemon juice.
We'll get you all oiled up.
All oil. You'll be my oil boy.
We'll get you there.
Another visual that we all have.
I'll bring the paintbrush. We can get it done.
A basting brush. It's a basting brush. Pretend I'm your Thanksgiving turkey.
So how is it working with the senior center? Are you guys cooperating in rooms? And if you need an extra room, can you borrow one of theirs? And
Yes.
They-
So I think the goal is again. Space, I'm sure anywhere is valuable, and it always seems to be never enough space. But the beauty is with the senior center that their hours are closing at 4, Fridays a little earlier. So at that time, then we kind of creep on over there, and that's where
Sure.
our Zumba is, where our yoga will be, where we have Little Chefs and a lot of those events there. So some of it is just incorporating where we have, some of these events coming up. I think Latin dance is going to be, opportunity to get started in the fall. And so those are times it's been a, puzzle pieces just trying to find the time because there's, a meeting in this room
Right.
or that. So it is about trying to,
do they do
Figure
special
out.
senior fitness classes that you guys take care of? Or?
They do those during the day.
Oh, they
so
do. They
it
don't.
is-
Not you. Okay.
Right. Yeah, that's more. I think it's because they're hitting that time when those hours when they're
Yeah.
open. So certainly seniors can come to anything that we do, but theirs is it's only for seniors.
Seniors,
So
right.
if it's a chair yoga class, it's during their yoga, and because we have thought hey, maybe we can incorporate the wall from during the day, but the understanding is it's that comfort level for seniors that
Right.
they prefer to.
Be with their own
Stay
kind.
in the right,
Mark, do you go to
exactly.
Do you go to the senior center?
I did, but the chair didn't work out for me, Ken. So no. Actually, I have not gone to the senior center, other than for a few forums. I haven't actually participated.
Oh.
Have you done it?
I'm too young.
I do
God,
hear
I'm
they
too
have.
young. Deb,
I
Deb,
do
look.
hear there's some wicked ping pong. That there's a group that really enjoys the ping pong
Oh, God.
and a lot of dominoes.
A lot of dominoes.
There's so many things. They do a great job.
They do a ton of dominoes over
Kate
there.
did, their programming really nice. Some great things in the senior
What's
center, but
the-
I will say there's a couple that really they get pretty intense too.
What's the average age of the ping pong player over in that senior group? Because I might join just to kick some butt.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing that.
They're going to
older
love
folks.
to have you come.
Yeah.
They'd love to have you come. There's some pretty good players
Are
over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love ping pong.
I don't know their age. I just know
Oh,
that
the
they
beer pong. Wait a
qualify
minute.
to be there with 55 and above.
There you
I'll
go.
go with that. I'm not sure their age
it's-
group, but I know they're.
It's a penny a point, Ken. You can play. It's a penny a point.
Penny a point, huh?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So then the fall is around the corner.
It is around
We
the
got
corner.
a lot of indoor activities that'll be probably coming up. First of all, you had a great parade, by the way, the 4th of July
Was
parade.
that fun or
it
what?
Was. It was.
Yep.
It was.
Love
it
the
was
tradition
really,
of
I hadn't
that,
been
so
in a
that's
while
been-
because I just been away. But I was here for this year's parade, and it was great. Besides the weather being like top 10.
Yes, right.
So in the fall, we've got the Halloween trunk or treat. I would imagine still.
So the tradition of the trick or treat on Main Street, no doubt about it. Awesome. We're looking for everybody to get back involved. All the business owners, everybody out there to come on out and make it a fun event. What we did last year that we're going to do again this year is add to this. So that's a tradition and it happens on Halloween. But we again trying to get out to the parks. We had a trick or treat / scavenger hunt dressed up in the costume and everything at Louder Park, and we were
Oh, that
able
sounds
to.
fun.
It was a lot of fun and it was well received. And again, it's the idea. It went all the way, all around the park. So we're going to do that. We will have a pool party. There's a lot of that seasonal things where I think we'll have some arts and crafts that go around on that theme of fall.
Can you have an adult Bob for Apple game where I could put Mark's head in the water and keep it down there?
You know what? Ever since COVID, we can't have that bobbing for apple stuff. Otherwise, I'd bring that
5
around.
But
years.
it sounds
But
like
maybe we can again, and nobody will say it's about worry about the germs.
it does sound like it'd be a good opportunity for you to bring out the Baby New Year costume that you have, Ken. And
Oh, what is this? What?
I told you I'm available for all kinds of
Gentlemen, I
parties.
expect you to
Baby
come
New
to
Year.
our trick-or-treating at Louder Park, all dressed up in
I like
costume.
invitations,
Are you doing any-
the address. Just send me the card and remind me. I'll go through my agent because I was an agent at one time in my
okay.
life.
All right.
But now that I'm a huge celebrity,
huge.
You are.
Huge.
the voice.
Yeah.
I'm the voice.
Oh,
I'm
I'm sorry.
the voice. I mean, 45614. You hear them calling in? No more calls, please.
So now
I
that-
think he cut off the phone line. Otherwise, we would have lots
Yeah,
of
that's-
calls.
Now that we
That-
actually have a
that
guest
does
here,
that.
Ken, let's have her talk some more. Tell us about your youth. Are you doing youth leagues in the fall?
Oh, so that time, it's amazing. You're thinking it's August, but right around the corner is our recreation, the youth basketball, and registration will start. Where I was saying the early bird special. So we're telling you, get that registration and start September 1. So September 1 through the end of the month is the early registration. You get the early bird discount, and that just helps with getting how many coaches we need and teams and doing that. So we're always looking for volunteers too. We want parents, or grandfather or uncle, anyone, get involved and give back. We need that volunteering because recreation basketball only really is as good as the volunteers and the coaches that are giving back.
It's
with
a
the
great
kids.
program. Thank God Mark does a volunteer.
Right. And just on a serious
So-
note, these volunteers all have to be vetted, if you will, or you have to do background checks. And,
Correct.
Right.
Yes, yep. So there is an application. Don't let that scare you away. You're filling it out. You're agreeing that there will be a background check and doing that. And the intent of, you want to give back. This is a great way to do it and get involved with the youth, girls and boys. And we have Biddy Ball. That's, kindergarten. It gets
Yeah.
started there all the way through 8th grade. So we'll have that going on. And we're actually currently heavily in our planning stages for fall right now, so I don't have a lot of details, but we're looking to expand. And one of the things I'll throw out there is that we definitely, on the website there, it'll be like, do you have something that you might be of, a skill or a talent or a class that you think really would be interested? So you fill that out and get back to, because we're looking, something that we may not think about, it's.
That's what I like about Deb Fiske, and I'm glad she's a great hire for this community to run this center. And the reason being,
Who was on that committee, Ken?
a stump. But anyway, she still was fortunate to get hired.
That's right.
Okay.
I was
so
on that
long
committee.
story short, I mean, what I'm getting at is the openness and the willingness to try. I've said this about this town a million times. It's so tiny, whether you're working, as a volunteer in the government sector or the Board of Ed or anything like that. And if things aren't working, you can change it in a dime. So is the rec department. I mean, but you can't have the same old same. You can have your traditions. I get it, but I'm looking at all your flyers for the new programs. The new programs I know that happen this summer and spring. With the smarts to hire a specialist in the pool area for the aquatics end of it. you've done a hell of a job, and kudos to you.
Well, thank you. Really appreciate that.
mean,
You know, we don't want to be idle. It's always about
It's
okay,
change.
right? How can we make it better? Certain things they're great and they're success. And all right, we want to do this, but okay, how can we make it better yet? And other things, you know what? We tried it. There wasn't the interest. All right, we're gonna
Scrap it.
Exactly.
Scrap it. But even the thought that you put on the website, if you have a great idea or you want to volunteer, like me, I should put in a few of them to be in an MC, the public speaking class, whatever.
Don't wear yourself out, Ken.
Talking about history.
Say.
But the reality of it is just the idea of it's open, it's transparent, and it's welcoming to anyone. I mean, I'm sure there are people out there, because I played dominoes once or twice with this teacher, and for me, to me it's a cultural game more than anything else, and I took me a while to learn it.
Well, you had to count the dots, Ken.
Well, I had Johnny Montalvo, but anyway,
Count the dots.
but the reality of it is, I'm sure there are a few great domino players that you speak to who could offer that to the younger generation, that want to learn that particular game.
Right.
Doyle still hasn't picked up a pickleball
That's
racket,
right.
and I've hit him a few times with it.
Yeah.
But I think that speaks volumes as to who you are as a leader of that program, that department, because you got to open it up to suggestions. You can't close the doors and no, we've got all the ideas. We don't need your input.
Right.
That's good for the community.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And that is, to point that out, we're a sponge right now, and I think it's always like, hey, we're absorbing what works, what doesn't, what are ideas. And my rock painting, I was talking, somebody was mentioning.
Back to rocks?
I go,
Back to rocks.
I tell you what, it was
It's a classic, Ken. It's a classic.
It was a grandmother, and she's like, back in the 70s.
It's a classic.
This is what we, and I forget the name. It was a phenomenal rec director that you had in this town, and they were mentioning, and it was something that, and again, time's different, and, the funds a lot more flowing at that time. But I was like, we're talking, and I'm like, you know what? We can tweak that. Like, we can't finance it that way, but hey, let's try to do something. So it's more of, I'm taking something you're hearing from the community, you take it back to your team, and we're playing around with it, trying to figure out how we can make it something, and give it a try, and maybe it'll be something that the community really enjoys.
But I just had an idea, Papa.
Wow.
What about get some people who own these farms around here, do a little petting zoo during the Halloween season?
That'd be great.
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
Little goats. And
Yes.
Safety and little baby cows.
Goats, they like to eat anything. Sure,
That's
they,
right.
they
Yeah.
can.
Sometimes I'll just tell the public works, let the grass grow a little bit.
Ken will be on
Things-
cleanup duty.
things that
That's what I was
some
going
of
to say.
You
Yeah,
got
how about that
cleanup duty,
fertilization? Yeah. So we'll have to see. We'll see. We're working.
You're asking for ideas. I can come up with a million of them. I told you I'm the idea man.
All right, and then we're gonna do some fundraising and have Ken help us there too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
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 Hey, you heard
Absolutely.
it right here.
I'm here. You don't got to go to someone like Marble Mouth over there. You want to come to me where I could, really pump it up. I'll make DJ Chuck and the rest of them go, what? What talent? This guy is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I'll do it for you, Deb, on the arm, as they say back when I was on the job. 'Cause I
Oh
was
my
also-
goodness.
Oh,
Point.
Let's keep this conversation
going,
going.
yeah. Ken, we haven't tell anybody what to do, but it's so go ahead.
Go ahead, Mark. I'll let you take over for now. So and then you have in Christmas time, of course, we have all kinds of stuff
do.
happening that.
All right. So we do a
plus
lot.
the backpack giveaway coming up too.
Oh, right. That's the expo. Right. So we'll be a part of that. The back to school expo thing will be there and have some game. I love that. Was my first experience last year on that, and the whole community. I just think the school and the teachers that are getting involved too, to just try to get kids excited about going back to school. And we'll be working with some of the school people too. We try to do some things that connect with them, and whether it's a field trip to, now a lot of it's more after school, but they'll do a field trip to the community center.
Don't keep it a secret.
Right.
I was going to suggest that too. That you touch base with the new superintendent, right?
Oh.
Work at these elementary kids, get them young, to get them used to going there. So mom and dad, when they get to be teenagers, they can get there themselves. Right. But get them used to this facility and get their mom and dad's tax dollars worth.
Right. You know what? I was talking about, we had April vacation.
Yep.
And that was an opportunity where for a full week we had activities all day long, and it was all free. And that was the intent of just come, have a good time, and whether it was in the pool or doing bounce house or doing various things. So throughout the year, I always just say, if you can follow us on our social media or you check our website, we are constantly putting up there events that are coming in, and some, yes, there are programs that are fees, but there's a lot of times it's free. So take advantage of it and come visit us.
So we have bounce houses at these events? Because Ken's very good at blowing them up. So
Anyway, folks, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening again to Windham Winkley with myself, Ken Full, the voice of Windham, and my good old friend, that good guy,
the heart of Windham,
the heart
Mark
of
Doyle.
Windham, Mr. Mark Doyle. Our very special guest, Deb Fiske, who I can't thank enough for taking time out of her day, extending her day.
Busy day.
And coming here. Again, you have ideas, go to her website. Go see her in person, and she's
And we can
the
see
door is open.
you've just come back from vacation because you're well tanned there. I see that.
Well, that's
Gotta love
one of us,
vacation.
see? So anyway, next week I will not be able to attend this lovely weekly show because I need to talk about vacation. I need a break from Doyle.
Yeah.
So Mark, I don't know what your intentions are. If you
You can't nap at home all the time, Ken. You got to go somewhere else to nap.
okay, so Mark will update us.
I'll update you next week.
Next week as to what's going on. When I return, we hope to have an invitation extended to Ron Palmer Jr. to talk about.
I think we may
the fire
interview
department.
our executive man.
He doesn't
there,
know
Matt.
that yet.
All
What's
right.
that?
Thank you.
Well, thank you for listening, and thank you once again to what I think is the best department head hire in many, many years in Windham, Miss Deb Fiske.
Thank you.